I'm just back from the Colorado AARPE show, and I'm feeling good, man. I got to say, the only thing I don't feel good about is that I didn't vend that show. Got a little jealousy, and I was going to say FOMO, but I definitely missed out. I'll tell you all about it. Stick around tonight. Let's get to work. What's happening, everybody? Thank you for being here. It's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. It's 7 o'clock here in Minnesota, and it has turned beautiful, man, like a high of 74, sunshine, no clouds, all that good stuff. I know through the Midwest yesterday, some serious tornadoes and all that stuff went through. I hope you guys are doing all right. You know, when I travel to those shows and I take my camera, I have to reset everything up, and now I'm like, you know when things just aren't right and it's distracting you? Let's get this right. There we go. All right. Welcome. Glad to have you all tonight. I got just what a great weekend. It was a really great show. The show's just not going to be all about talking about Colorado, but if what I saw this weekend and what I've been seeing is any indication in the market, man, there's cool stuff going on. So what's up? Thanks for everybody being here. Jerome, Ross, Jessica, I didn't get a chance to check with you before. I'm curious. You gotta chime in. Tell me how your weekend was. I had to get to the airport. I left around 1 o'clock on Sunday, and you know how you try and make a loop around the room. It's an hour and a half later before you can get out of there. I just had to pack up and go. So sorry about that. I hope you did well, though. The reports were really, really good. So welcome everybody, Jeremy, Miggy. And let's see, Tyson, I thank you for checking out the show also. I've seen you around quite a bit in the chat. So glad to have you all. It was a fun show. Again, I'm talking about AARPE in Castle Rock, All-American Plant Reptile Expo. So we'll dive in on that in just a moment. Couple just shout outs, announcements, all that good stuff. As always, thank you to Robin and the REDLINE team for having me out there in Castle Rock. I got to spend a little, that sounded a little awkward the way I was about to say it. I got to spend some extra time, quality time with Robin's wife, Nikki. What an angel, what an amazing person. I stayed at their house, and we just had wine and snacks and stayed up late chatting and all that good stuff. So fantastic time getting to know Nikki too. Thank you all very much. Thanks to AARPE, Troy and Nick, Lauren, Lisa, you guys did a masterful job. Jerome was there working. The crew was great. Really great show. We'll get into it, but thanks for the hospitality. You guys kind of inspired me to talk about like business relationships, but also relationships in business. I don't have any actual business with AARPE. I have a very good relationship with AARPE. And anyhow, that got me thinking. So shout out to that crew, and thank you all for the hospitality. Snake Discovery, Fear to Fascination, Hist, and Brian Cusco. That was kind of the crew that we hung out with this weekend. Great time. And then also really great to get to know the Palm Street crew that was out there. Impressively, like usually Palm Street has a little bit of presence lately from a social media standpoint, and really good display usually that they have. What was interesting to me is they brought their developers out, like the coders, like the people creating the platform. They brought them out, and the developers were interviewing breeders and sellers to find out what they liked and didn't like. Now that's pretty impressive, I got to say. So anyhow, I don't know what's on the horizon for them, but they're making a lot of investments, I got to say, and really searching some things out. The next show that I will be vending is May 18th. That's the Snake Discovery Show. That is in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, right across the border. If you're in Minnesota, come on over. If you're in Wisconsin, it's not like you need a passport. Just drive to the place. Go hang out. May 18th, that's the Snake Discovery Show in Eau Claire. Big update on this. Check this out, guys. This is pretty cool. Speaking of business relationships, Cold Blooded Cafe, you guys know I advertise for them. I work with Cold Blooded. Always a fan of their rodents. Matter of fact, right there, you see that little table and those little white things? The table I have hooked up to a heat pad underneath. And that's a little rodent hibachi right there, cooking some rats as we speak. When I get done, I'm going to go feed. But I'm losing the point here. The point is the proper 11 code now is completely reusable as many times as you want. And what it gets you is free shipping on any orders over $200. So let's do some quick math here. Before it was 11% off of your order. So if you only spent $200, that was like $21 that you got off. Shipping is $30. You're getting an extra value. You can use it as many times as you want. And if you order a massive amount, you're going to save because you're going to go on to a second box. So they're going to throw in that second one. It's free shipping on anything over $200 all the time. Really nicely simplified. You don't have to do extra math. You don't have to, figure out where the decimal point goes, all that. It's free shipping over $200. Use it as many times as you like. Proper 11. And let me know if you run into issues using it. I want to make sure that you are able to use it. I appreciate you all support, and I like making sure you guys get a little perks. So let me know if you run into issues. You got to be signed in with your email, and proper 11 is the code. The 11 part is obsolete, other than you still got to type it. You're going to get free shipping over $200. Go check out Cold Blooded Cafe. Okay. Friday night, speaking of Palm Street, I think I'm going to do a Palm Street auction. I have hatchlings starting to hatch. I guess if I have hatchlings, they would have already hatched. I have hatchlings. There we go. We'll keep it, pay attention to brevity here. I have hatchlings and I got to make some space, and hey, time to move some 2024s out of here. And if they won't be ready this Friday night, but I will start selling the 2025s as well. Those, the one clutch that's pretty cool to me anyhow, if you're into super gravel stuff, or I'm aiming for super gravel clowns both this year and in the future. I got a clutch with some gravel clowns, pastel gravel het clowns, gravel het clowns as well. So those will be coming up available pretty soon. I got to see what the sexes are and what I'm going to keep, what combos, all of that. They got to crawl out of their eggs. I'll tell you a little bit more about those once they do. That's coming up. If you don't want to wait for a Palm Street auction, or Friday night doesn't work for you, you could check out properroyals.com. This is my week of catching up, getting everything back in order. So there are some pictures missing on the website. My apologies for that. However, if you're interested in something, just let me know. I'll get you pictures and information. And I will have pictures up this week. That's one of the things on the agenda. I should be moving in the rodents into the new facility, like by the next time, well, I was say next time we talk, it won't be by Thursday morning. By the next time we talk on Proper Royals Live, I will be moving those. I will have moved the rodents into the new facility. Like, it's finally come. It's been almost 6 months. Well, actually, it probably has been 6 months. May will be 6 months since I bought that car wash and started the transformation and the renovation and all of that, all the bumps and bruises. I run the water lines this week, tomorrow morning. Matter of fact, I got all the equipment today. I'll be running water tomorrow. And I've got to get the drywall guy. I got to get him in there to mud and tape. I've learned that lesson the hard way. I'm not doing the mudding and taping. I'm just not the guy for it. But those should be, I should be moving in this weekend. Excuse me. Maybe Sunday. I got some family stuff on Saturday, and I am going to do the family stuff. So I might move in Sunday. If not, I'll keep you guys posted. If anybody wants to help, happy to do a little dinner afterwards, cookout, fun, beers, sodas, whatever you're into. Not whatever, but, beverage wise. Let me know, and I'll get you taken care of, but I would gladly use any help on that too. Yeah, macromorph. Yeah, exactly. Mudding and taping, man. I don't know that I have time in my life to get good at that. I'm gonna switch that. We don't know. We like each other fine. We just drink different beverages and we root for different football teams. And the ones from Minnesota are better. That's all. Will I be at the AARPE in Kansas City? I'll be at the one in the fall. Yes, in the fall. I believe it's in September. I will be at that one, and I'll be vending at that one. Speaking of sponsors, Jeremy got some good news from Charlie today and some lace clown tests. 2 of the 3 lace with one being Het Clown as well. All right. So, it's not all doom and gloom for you guys testing lace. That's Charlie at shedtesting.com. He does test for lace right now. Jessica says, yes, Denver's popping. I'm so glad it's popping because I would have hated done like a show that like, oh, wow, it was a great show. And you'd be like, well, not for me. But it was a good show. Oh, Tyson. Well, you don't have to wait. If you need VPI, I got VPI females right now. I got VPI pastel. I got a super pastel VPI, all females. What are you waiting for? Message me. We'll take care of it. All right, there we go. There's enough of the comments. I try and keep up with the comments, but it's hard by myself. Woe is me, right? I can't tell you about it right now, but I do have a very big announcement coming. That'll be a change in my business, not a change, an addition to my business. Did some good business out in Denver this weekend. I'll leave it there. We'll do a proper rollout, pun intended. We'll roll it out properly, but I'm really excited and I'm glad to tell you about it. And hopefully I will have some either education and insight for you, and maybe I'll have some perks and that kind of stuff too. I try and make your day. When I get a little something, you get a little something. Man of the people. Yeah, it's the people show kind of thing right here. Thank you all for being here. I've been hinting at it all along, but the AARPE show, All American Reptile Plant Expo, very well done. Nicely done, guys. Just primo. Couple specifics. What does that mean? The concept of mixing the plants and the reptiles is fantastic. I don't want anybody to, intrude on other people's style, but there's really not anything proprietary by it, man. Some of you other promoters, get your act together, man. This is an interesting hobby crossover. I gotta say, it really spruces up the place. I don't know that it had anything to do with the plants, but I will say there wasn't any of the usual smells that you get. I didn't get the smells. If anybody was there, let me know if you smelled some smells, but it was a nice, really nice place. The venue is primo. It's not huge. This is not a massive show. The venue is good size, but it's not huge. They bring food trucks for the meals, and there's actually like a patio picnic place outside. Nicely done. And then an upgrade or a new feature of this year's was they brought in Ed and Emily from Snake Discovery for a meet and greet. And I always want to be careful because every private conversation I have can't become content. But I would say that there was uncertainty of the effectiveness of what that was going to be. Not as a knock to Ed and Emily, because of the distance from Denver to Castle Rock. It's a suburb. It's a good bit out, though. I mean, if you're in Denver proper, or even Highlands Ranch, Denver Tech Center, you're 20, 25 minutes. If you're, in Aurora, you're 35, 45 minutes. So, like, the mass of people, it's a good bit north. That was Friday that I heard those concerns. Let me tell you, by like 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning, those concerns were gone. People were lined up already. They were doing I don't think they actually camped overnight, but they were doing the very, very early morning camp out. And that line stayed around the building. I mean, I think it was 3 o'clock. I was like, I just need some sunshine. I need a little mental break. I stepped out. People were coming in saying that the traffic was backed up to the highway, which is, I think it's 3/4 of a mile, but 3/4 of a mile is pretty far. Like, when you think about it, man, that is something. And again, I'm not going to say the specifics, but I can say pretty confidently that somewhere around 4,000 people came in the gate that day, maybe more. And anyway, that's what I heard from a very reliable and insightful source. So it was set up really brilliantly. I don't know that every venue has this way to set up or wants to. I don't think Tinley wants to, but because they kind of put Ed and Emily in a separate area. But this setup, they went through like the airport security stanchions and ropes, and then you get to hang out, see them for a minute or two, take your picture, get your shirt signed, that kind of stuff, exit through the gift shop of Snake Discovery. And then you drop out right onto the floor of AARPE. So all those people came through the show. I don't know who was driving the sales. If it was the people coming to see Ed and Emily, if it was other buyers, if it was everybody, I don't know. Chime in if you were there, but like it was hopping that day. So I have a lot of friends, acquaintances, relationships in the business. I started talking to a few people. How you doing? We're really good. How you doing? As a 2,500 before lunch. Wow. Moving some animals? Yeah, 2. Oh, so they're buying and they're buying at a high level. Okay. I put out some reels, one of those for some friends. One of those animals sold that evening. I'm not saying everybody, I know that there were ups and downs for different people. But when ball python breeders are like, man, it's selling, you know that things are moving. So really cool, well done show. Really, really fun to see all that going on. Yeah, Macklemore says, yeah, it's under an hour from Denver and Colorado Springs. That's a good point. Colorado Springs is a good big city south. So yeah, it could pull from both. Good point there on that. So it's not like right there, but it's pretty close to 2 places. That's a good, insightful point. Yeah, Jeremy, you bring up a good point. Like we get, like I say, there's breeders, the circle of people in these YouTube podcasts, myself included, this audience, myself, we could be guilty of looking down on pet owners or the Ed and Emily crowd. That weekend everybody was winning. Let's think through this. Ed and Emily, I'm assuming, I have no idea, but I'm assuming that they get an appearance fee. The promoters are getting people through the door. Ball python sellers are selling ball pythons. That's great. And if there was 4,000 people through the door, the sponsors are happy because you get a lot of eyeballs on your product. Like everybody was winning on there. So I thought it was really nicely done. And again, I've said this before, like it takes a lot of guts for a promoter to plunk down the money to buy or to reserve a venue. I know what wedding venues go for because that was my world. And those would cost you $20,000 a weekend. And that's for like 300 people. I don't know. They're plopping down money. And then I have no earthly idea what it costs to get Ed and Emily to a show. And by the way, they work. Holy cow, they work 2 days back to back, no break, no nothing, no, not like shut down for lunch, straight on. I didn't keep close enough track to, I'm sure there's a restroom or something like that, but like so engaging. There's a reason that they have the success that they do. And it's because of the work and the work ethic that they put into it, man. So regardless of if you like their content or who they're bringing into the hobby and that kind of thing, just respect the work. It's unbelievable the work that they put in and the engagement and authenticity and all that. So I was very, very impressed with that. But again, it was all one big part of one big machine. And I say all that, not to just brag about a show that I went to, because truth be told, I was jealous I wasn't vending. Like I'm walking around and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get in on this. And so I'm not saying it for that. I'm saying incorporate those kinds of things into your own business. How do you make things go where everybody wins? How do you make things go where the customer feels the most special? How do you separate yourself with a little different twist? How do you bring your own version of the plant community over? Or all of those things. That's what inspired me this weekend. Good on everybody for making money. Good for the vendors. Good for Ed and Emily. Good for the promoters. Good for the sponsors. I hope they make a bunch of money. Good for everybody. Go get your money. What inspired me was saying, man, they did this just right. It was really, really good. I will tell you one private moment I had with Nick was standing outside. There was a moment where it was just a free for all in the parking. There was nobody directing traffic. People were triple parking. People couldn't leave. Police were there. Tow trucks were there. And Nick says, and not in a bad way, this is all a good thing. You know, and Nick kind of sighed and was like, man, we got to figure this out. And I said, what a beautiful, beautiful problem to have to figure out, man. I had some instances like that in my career, not with my own company, but big festivals, PGA Tour tournaments where you just go, I guess it's a wonderful problem to have, you know? So I was so happy. And I told Nick that I was so happy for him. I know the work that they put in. I've been able to peek behind the curtain a little bit. So good for them. Very, very inspiring weekend. Yeah, you just keep grinding if you love what you do. And you know what? The love what you do part is important too. And I know that that's nothing new, and it can be cheesy to hear people say like, oh, just, you know, just be positive and that kind of thing. I don't mean it that way. There are some people that have done their time, established their brand, and have just amazing enough snakes that they could just sell their snakes. Sometimes the snakes just sell themselves. Absolutely. But by and large, the people that were doing great weren't necessarily, I think the big guys made their money, but there were guys selling the stuff that I sell. There were guys selling stuff that I would consider entry level that I don't work with anymore, that I've moved beyond. And I don't consider myself a big time breeder or anything like that. So what they had in common was that they were connecting with people and they were passionate about what they were doing and excited. And I love the idea. I can't speak for these folks, but I know that I'm at my happiest when I'm exhausted at the end of the day from a hard day of work where I've accomplished something and I wake up the next morning excited to go do it again. That's when I've been the happiest in my life, when I felt that way in my career, when I feel that way now with snakes or rodents or this car wash that just drags on forever. Like, I get to go run water lines tomorrow. I'm exhausted. I don't know when I took a day off. I haven't, but I'm exhausted. But I love it. And I'm excited to go do that tomorrow. And I think when there's that energy and infectious happiness and passion, it's contagious. That's who people will pay a little bit more. It's almost like you feel like it's a better customer service experience. It's a better customer experience. Think about a very serviceable bartender. You order your Cabernet, you get your Cabernet, and they don't tend to you otherwise, but it's all you wanted. Fine. But a really engaging bartender that's loving what they're doing and they're loving life and they know that they're the entertainer and they're efficient at what they do, you're just happier. You want to pay them a little bit more. And granted, that takes it's not a perfect analogy because there's a tip situation there. But what I'm saying is, if there's something in your way of being happy, and we all have our challenges, don't get me wrong. I'm not just saying like walk on sunshine and be fake and all of that. We all have our challenges and you got to work through them. But maybe remember what brought you that happiness, or that the pressure of trying to make money at a show is really a privilege, that you got into the show, you have the table, you have the means in your life to raise animals that you love working with. Just take a minute and think about that stuff and then try and pass that on is kind of what I think of. So I had a few moments like that this weekend too, it was really great. It was great to see everybody around though. What was going on in other shows? I misspoke I put out a little promo reel today. It wasn't Gettysburg. It was Hamburg, Pennsylvania Berg. I mixed up the Bergs. Hamburg this weekend. ARS's new show, the Cajun Company, the Midwest Reptile show. That looked great. The pictures of it look great. I got to say, I don't know. I haven't gotten any reports or heard about that. Sewer Fest, which interesting name, Southeast Wisconsin Exotics and Reptile Show, Sewer. Really well known though, iconic show. I've never been able to get in there. They won't let me vend there. They'll realize ball pythons are cool one day. I'll get in. AARPE, Castle Rock. I got to go to Castle Rock instead. And then Sacramento was this weekend. Like pretty big, several iconic shows. So, let's see, Josh. Yeah, Midwest was pretty awesome in Indianapolis. It looked good. Some friends were vending there. I know for sure Snakes for the Memories were there. I think KMB was there. I think Ken at Primal Scales was there. I just haven't had a chance to check in with anybody. Also, shout out to Josh and the newest Patreon member. Thank you so much. 3,500 people. Nice. So you see, he's got some insider information too. I like this. I got to learn about your sources. Who went to the Sacramento show? Anybody go? Oh, the Sewer Fest. Yeah. At first I almost didn't apply to even vend there. Cause I was, you guys know how I am. I'm like, I want to represent the community. I don't want to call it we do a sewer. And I was like, oh, Southeast Wisconsin, exotic. Okay, take it all back. Judgment. That's probably why I didn't get to go. They heard me judging it. So I never have judged it publicly, but definitely an iconic show. I wouldn't mind going sometime. So, all right. So busy in Midwest. I haven't heard any feedback on the sales and stuff. I just got back on very late Sunday night. So I hope everybody did well though. Chris is here to put it in perspective. Hamburg takes the cake for a sewer show. Oh, you vended and left at 1? Okay, different experiences, different location. Okay, fair enough. While Chris's comment is up, guys, check out the Words Not Deeds initiative. It's very cool. If you've seen everybody around the industry with the little emojis and what would you call them? Maybe avatars of themselves. If you make a contribution to the Deeds Not Words campaign, it benefits Camp Freedom in Pennsylvania, and that benefits veterans, gets them out into nature, gets them, I don't know a good way to put it. There's some people in some rough shape, and the camp does really great things. You get out of the house, you get out of staring into the mirror of things that bother you. And it's a really cool initiative, and all the money goes to benefit it. Chris does some of the best work of raising money in the industry. So go check it out. You can check it out at thefatmannation.com. So there you go. Okay. I can't put all of Chris's comments on the screen. But I did see it. I see it. Perspectives are always good, man. Here we go. Thanks, man. I stumbled on my words a little bit, but it kind of hit me. Gets them out of a clinical environment, puts them back into nature, lets them do what they did before their disability. I think I speak for Chris when I say there's no amount too small. I bet Chris would also say, open up your wallet, take care of these people that took care of us. And you get a cool shirt and a cool icon for the right donation level. I wish I had mine ready. When I say your own, talk to Chris. My icon, it's got a 57 Les Paul Gold Top in its hands. That's its weapon of messaging. So thanks very much, Chris. I appreciate it. Guys, go support that if you can. fatmannation.com. Lost my train of thought. So Hamburg, not so well. Midwest seems pretty good. I haven't heard from Sewer or from Sacramento, which I guess was a pretty big show as well. What other notes did I put down? They did. AARPE also sponsored. Now, this is also with REDLINE and with Palm Street. So I find that some people have accused me of like being biased towards anything with REDLINE. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but it's also good for good reason if it is true. But the pickleball social, it's picking up some steam. I got to say, it sounds really goofy. I would have never thought like, oh, let me fly out to Colorado and then play pickleball on Friday night. But it's pretty fun. It's a great networking situation, and they do have a bar in there. I was drinking some beer, playing some pickleball, and then I reverted to my old college bar days when I found the ping pong table. A little less cardio, still fun paddle game. It was very, very nicely done, and you get to meet. I like when I go to shows outside of my region. I get to meet vendors I might not have seen normally, and made some really good connections as well. Something else. One other thing I saw that I didn't mention earlier. Brian, Altitude Exotics, he's vending there. He's local in Denver, comes and vends. And it was really kind of cool. I think it was both times, but maybe it was only a year ago. I guess he got a table like at the last second. This was a year ago. And if you're a gecko person, you know Altitude Exotics is like the gecko standard, or top 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. Well, he had this just one table booth, and he had it set up like sideways. So like you had to walk in and it was like a little speakeasy to walk in and walk out of. And so it was really kind of low key. And I didn't know anything about geckos or anything about Brian. And I was introduced to Brian. We got talking. I started learning about him. I'm like, oh, you're that guy. You're that guy. Okay. Very low key, very down to earth, very undercover, but not purposefully. And he was very cool to me. We struck up a conversation and business friendship and that kind of thing. So I see him this weekend. He's got an end cap. And on Sunday, in the end cap, 4 tables, he's got like a full studio set up. He's got somebody helping him vend. And he starts up a Palm Street Live, sells 96, I think is what he said in his reel today. 96 geckos on Palm Street from the floor of the AARPE show where he was already selling geckos. I'd been making my rounds, keeping tabs on, how business is for folks. Really cool. Like, get out of the normal box, just explore. I have no idea if he was doing that to explore, if he was doing it because he loves the platform, if he's doing it. I don't think he has a working arrangement with Palm Street, but he might. I have no idea. I do know he moved 96 animals. Who is at my front door at this time of night? Sorry, guys. There's interlopers. One second. Somebody with a badge. Nothing like dead air on the radio. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay. Looks like I'm good, or my wife covered for me. I'm not sure. All good. They did. I don't know what that was. 7:30 at night here, and somebody with a badge shows up at our door. Okay. Like I said, they've left, and my wife has shut the door. So there we go. Yeah. Somebody wants to sell me solar. Yeah. If they have a badge, maybe they would have my attention to sell me some solar. Anyway, I thought it was really impressive to see Brian doing that. Again, kind of inspiring experience of seeing somebody get new, innovative, do something different to stand out, not just, it's a tough market. Oh, things aren't selling here or there. Like, what have you done? What have you tried different? You're going to miss on some things. We know this. But if you just wait for every proven thing, you're always going to be behind the curve on what's proven. And that's coming from a guy who publicly says, when I make investments, I pretty much only do index funds in the S&P 500. I'm pretty risk averse, but you got to try some new stuff. You got to try to innovate. You got to try and do different things and challenge yourself. Stick around. I'm going to tell you about my experience this weekend with business relationships and relationships in business. This got me thinking of Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. That's Charlie Ryan. And he's been doing some great reels lately that really are pretty transparent about just what we were talking about. What have you done lately? You can't just complain that the market isn't good. It's a job. Go for it. And I know some of us work full-time jobs. Some of us have 2 other jobs. Some of us have a car wash that they got to learn how to run. But you could try and do different things. Stay creative, stay experimenting. Don't worry if it doesn't work. A lot of these things don't cost you any money, but keep your inventories up to date. Keep your pictures up to date. Follow up with prior customers. Even if they're not inquire with them. How's that snake I sold you, 2 months ago? What are you working on these days? If you buy one, you've probably bought 3 more since then. What do you got going on these days? Get to know your customers, reach out to people, find out. That's Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. While you're checking things out, check out Charlie's selection on Morph Market. Puzzle Krypton projects, DG, G-Stripe, Candy, Pied, Clowns in single, double, and triple recessives. I was just looking at his Morph Market account today, and the Kryptons that he's got on there are incredible. He's got some, I'm going to mix up, again, the doubles and triples that he's working. I'm going to mix up what they are, but they're great animals on there. Everything from some visual and double visual, single and double het to just triple het combo stuff with combos in the mix. So check out Reagan, Renee, Royal Pythons. For shipping, I recommend using REDLINE shipping. You didn't get the full effect. It does the focus and all that. Anyway, I'm on the small. I ruined it already. I'll catch it next week. Why do I use REDLINE? Yes, I have a relationship with them. I've worked with REDLINE for over 3 years now. First off, I'm proud of that. But it's a customer service. There's a phone number you can call. If you need help before you ship with them, before you give them a penny, they're going to help you out. If you need help with them once you've bought a label and you don't know how to ship it, or you don't know this time of year, it was in the 40s here last night. If I send something to Florida, it's liable to be in the mid to upper 80s right now. What do we do about that? How do we keep the animal safe? If you can't find the animal because it's in Memphis and stuck, they can find it for you. They could get people to help you on that. They pick up the phone. Some other players in this space have explicitly said there will never be a phone line because it costs money to get customer service. It's just a different outlook. If that's valuable to you, I recommend trying REDLINE. On top of all of that, the prices are aggressive. The prices are great. The interface, the user interface is great. It's quick and easy. Check out redlineshipping.com. Use a promo code proper5 to get yourself $5 off of your next shipping label. Charlie Williams, not Charlie Ryan, Charlie Williams is shedtesting.com. Genetic testing for over 32 ball python genes using shed samples. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's all right. I was given this promo one time and somebody was like, what are you talking about? DNA testing. You could take your snake's shed and you can send Charlie the snake shed and tell him what genes you want him to test it for. And for a slight transaction fee that's very competitive, he's going to tell you if your snake has those genes or not. So VPI Xanthic, Wookiee, Sunset Clown, Puzzle, Ultramel Zebra, newest releases, Lace and Monarch. Jeremy was talking about earlier. Put the Lace debate to bed. Find out, you got Lace or don't you? Come on, you know you're not going to be able to sell it until you get these things tested, right? You got to find out. Go check out, get your lace test done. Monarch is also available now for those of you all that care to participate in the Monarch Ultramel fights. You can get it tested. And the Hurricane Trick Blitz gene is also on there now as well. Use the promo code PROPER15 to get yourself 15% off of 2 orders. You can order as many individual shed tests as you like. And with or without the promo code, Charlie has just dropped his prices 20% as well. As I understand it, double check on the website, but as I understand it, $40 genetic tests, second genetic test on the same animal is half price for the second gene. So you can get all those details on the website. Use promo code PROPER15, get yourself 15% off of your next order. Portuguese Pythons, Renee and Danny Rocha. Speaking of shows that I want to get to, I want to get out to California. They're in Chino. I want to go to the Pomona show and go visit some West Coast friends and see the action on the West Coast. And I really want to go meet Renee and Danny in person. We've worked together for quite some time now, 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, something like that. I went to their morph market today just to catch up on what's going on. Holy smokes, go check it out. Their hatchlings started arriving like in December. They seem to have a backward season from the rest of us, and they're hitting morph market now. They're loaded up. It's fantastic. Let's see what caught my eye today. Ultramel hat puzzles with various combos in them, and then all kinds of stuff. Sunset Hypo, I already said Ultramel puzzle. The Ultra Clown stuff, I literally had to turn it off because I was like, man, I was about ready to just buy some double het Ultramel Clown stuff just because of the combos that they have in it. Beautiful work, beautiful snakes that they produce. They have a real knack for finding these beautiful combinations, and they're really great people. Check it out, Portuguese Pythons. And I have on my notes, I should say it, all of my Ultramel Pied project ingredients have come from them, and I'm excited to be producing some Ultramel Pieds this year. Ball Labs, speaking of people that vended this weekend that I got to hang out with, that is Trevor in Aurora, Colorado. Ball Labs, I believe it's still for sale. Trevor has a proven breeder, Amazon ATB, Amazon Tree Boa Red Phase. She's beautiful. If I get moved into my shop and that girl's still for sale, I'm going to buy her for a pet. But in the meantime, if you're looking for something that's not a ball python and you're into that ATB, actually, I have no idea what they go for, but it seemed like a very reasonable price. And that was the nicest ATB I've ever held. She was very docile. I could hold her with my hands, no problem. Trevor told me this weekend somebody called him the man with 100 genes, not Levi's. He loves working with anything and everything that he can. So if there's something you're looking for and you haven't seen around, check with him. Some spotlight ones are Puzzle, Ultramel Clown, VPI Xanthic, Tri-Stripe Monsoon, Zebra, and Sunset. He is a licensed rodent breeder in Colorado. Those of y'all that don't know, legally you have to have a license to breed and sell rodents. He does that the right way, and I think that overlaps into his ball python business as well. Go check out his Morph Market page, as well as his newest podcast with Critical Hit Exotics, Breeder Underground. I believe that's Thursday nights. You're going to have to look. Breeder Underground is the name of it on YouTube. Check that out. Last but not least, I believe I saw him in the audience a little bit earlier, is Chris at B&S Reptilia. Chris is the original sponsor of Proper Royals. I'm so proud to still be working with him. We're now business partners at Tinley, and we own a couple animals together as well. He's Reptilia because he specializes not only in ball pythons, but blood pythons, locality boas, colubrids of all shapes and sizes, including Pituophis, the bull snakes, the pine snakes. He's going to help you know whether you can have them in your region, what permits you may or may not need, how he can sell them to you legally to protect you both, and then he can help you with the care afterwards. He's also the regional distributor for the Chipper Cocoa. If you're interested in becoming a distributor for the Chipper, get in touch with Chris. He can help you with that also. There we go. Those are the sponsors. Take care of these folks that take care of keeping the lights on around here and keeping this show going. Second only to you guys, because otherwise I would just make regular YouTube videos and they'd be less exciting. I like the live feature. So thanks for being here. Let me see here. Did I miss any enticing comments? That I did like that somebody wants to sell you solar. I'm interested to find out what that was. Kevin says, wanted? Maybe. Not that I know of. I've got to say, I'm on a good streak of keeping my butt a free man, which I will. It's always the goal, right? Let's see. East Coast Reptile Super Show Expos. John, I'm not familiar with that show, but I did get, interesting, I got an email from somebody trying to sell me the vendor list of contacts. That always seems like a spam thing. Do promoters sell that? I don't know. I got that email there. And yeah, Jeremy says I get people trying to get us hooked up with solar. I have solar. So maybe they're just like, no, screw him. We don't, he's not our target anymore. I'm not sure. All right. I told you guys I got really inspired this weekend with like the concept of business relationships and relationships in business. I think you all know I do pretty well. It's become a significant portion of my income and my livelihood and funds. A lot of what I do as Proper Royals breeding ball pythons are business relationships. And somewhere along the way, the word sponsors got attached to all of that. I see them as clients of mine. If I produce for them, I want to produce so well for them that they would never think of looking elsewhere or worrying about when the contract ends. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes it changes. On the other hand, you guys see those partners don't change very often and have very rarely changed. And it happens for various reasons. So maybe somebody's not pleased with my performance. Maybe their finances change. Maybe their direction change. Who knows? Those things come and go, and it happens to the best of us. Chris is in the audience. He'll tell you that those things change no matter how good you are at it. And Chris runs some hella good promos. So I am proud of that and I'm thankful for it. But I always look at it as they're my clients and it's my job to provide for them. And I don't take for granted what our arrangements are. And obviously I'm not going to speak about that because first off, it's private information and it would be disloyal to the people that I'm working with. But also every one of those arrangements is a little bit different. Every one of those people have different needs. Some people want to sell a product. Here's their price. Some of it's very simple. Here's their product. Here's what they sell it for. They want to drive sales and they think I can help. Here's a code. Let's track it. Other people want their brand awareness to be normalized, to people to know, for people to know who they are over a long period of time. And those are two different examples of two different relationships and two different goals that we set out to fulfill together. So I take a lot of pride in that, and I do that quite a lot. I also try and protect that. There's a reason I don't have more. First, I think it would cut into my content. And by the way, thank you guys for sitting through the promos. I know it's essentially a commercial, but I always like to try and explain why I like working with the people. I've done business with all of these people outside of just an advertising partnership. So I do appreciate that, but I get it. You don't tune in to be sold and pitched to. So we got to try and make that interesting. I got to try and keep their logos up. I got to figure out when I'm running solo, how to do things like this to make sure that I'm representing them right. And those relationships are fantastic. They literally help pay the bills. They literally keep my business afloat. The other way I like to look at things are not, and those are transactional. I'll be totally transparent. I do this for you. You do this for me. We're happy. We shake hands and we're partners. Then there's relationships in business, which we all have. We all have relationships in this industry. Some are good, some are bad. But I think we take those for granted and we don't set out to, or some people are better at expanding those than others. And one of the things that I didn't realize this show would do for me was create so much of that. It might not seem like it. I'm not an in-person extroverted guy. Here in the camera, in the piece of my room, where there's no variables, especially tonight, I don't even have a guest. It's great. I might have Chris talk about the attire of the attendees, but otherwise there's no variables. I can control all that. That's a sweet spot for me. I am not the outgoing guy at the high school dance. I was standing by the punch bowl all night. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Same thing when I'm playing music. It seems really outward and extroverted, but think about it. I talk into the microphone. It's a one-way thing. I don't, the only feedback I really get is yay or boo. That's it. I'm not great at personally interacting with a whole lot of people. And what has happened over the years is that this show has given me an opportunity to make relationships with people. Vending has given me an opportunity and forced me to make those relationships with people. And now I still push myself out of my element. I had an experience this weekend, a vendor I'd seen all 3 times, I think, at the Colorado show that I've been there. Well, it's only been 3 times. I've been there all the time. I didn't know their brand. I didn't know them. Got talking with them. I said, I'm really sorry, but what's your name? They told me their name. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you. At the very end, he hands me his business card and I see his last name. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're in the chats all the time. I know exactly who you are. I was like, that's you? You've been vending here? Like, I've walked by your booth like 3 times before. I feel horrible. And that's not their fault that they weren't like, hey, Adam, you better know me. That's not owed to me. That's nobody's job. Like, what an aha moment. Like, how bad could I screw this up? And I admit I'm not great at trying to build those relationships in business. I guess I'm pretty good at it just by the results, but I really have to work at it. I'm not naturally good at it. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm really trying to say is get out there, go build all the relationships that you can. You're going to go farther than shooting each other in the foot, being, finding the drama, trying to undermine things. Man, the opportunities, the fun, the relationships. I hinted earlier that I got an announcement coming in the next week, a really great arrangement that I'll be working with and within. Part of it came from how well I was received by other people around. Part of it came from they were able to check references with people at the show that knew me and that I didn't know would be like such an integral part to making this happen. So opportunities come. You don't know when, you don't know exactly how. Somebody's going to be looking for something and another person's going to go, oh, I know so-and-so and they can help you out. I know so-and-so, they could take care of you. I've seen Steve Casino walk somebody from his table to Dale and George MD's table. And I'm talking, this was a whale of a buyer. Boom. Thousands. Set it down on the table. Here you go, guys. There's your guy. Like, that's gold from Steve. You know how much, I don't want to speak for those other guys, but you know how much they must value Steve for doing that? And like those sorts of things. I saw a moment this weekend. Brian Cusco was there. And again, I don't know anybody's individual deals, but I believe he was on an appearance fee kind of thing too, arrangement. And there was a point where he said, guys, you need help. I'll come help. He was out directing traffic. Like I saw the conversation. He was like, yeah, I'm there. Let me put down my camera. And he went out and directed traffic. Like that's not in his contract. It's not anything. That's just him having a good relationship. And I can assure you that it's things like that that keep people coming back. The clicks and the views are good. The sales are good. The business relationships are really good. Think what you could do. Think how you can go out of the way to help people that you respect. And I'm not asking you to be disingenuous. If there's somebody you would never do business with, and it's a reasonable, like, there are people I don't want to be associated with. I get it. I get that part of it. But there's enough people that you do want to be. So like join a Patreon. Sure, I got one, but I literally think joining any Patreon is a remarkable investment because for like $5 a month, you can get into an active community of like-minded people that are going to recognize you and know you. That's one of the most amazing investments I think that you could possibly make, especially if you're starting out and trying to build your brand. Like even say there's only 30 people in the Patreon. That's 30 people that are actually going to know your brand and actually going to be able to get to know you. That's a very, very low barrier to entry to get into a group chat or what is it? Is it Reddit? Whatever it is. Or what's the other thing? It doesn't matter. Discord. That's what I'm trying to think of. Not Reddit, Discord. Maybe it's on both. I don't know. Go join one. It's worth your time. You got to get, if you ever feel bogged down, again, just get out of like your regular routine and move on, expand, explore, build business relationships are one thing, the transactional part. Build relationships in business where you just don't know how things are going to benefit or what things are going to come down the pipeline. And they don't even always like relate to specific things. Chris and I do we do a rock and roll show that's on Patreon only. And I get people coming up to me and it's called The Pawn Shop. They go, man, I really love those pawn shop episodes. It's something totally different. And I'm like, man, you joined the Snake Patreon and you're stoked about our rock and roll show. I don't know how it works. I can't quantify it. I'm a systems and process guy. I love quantifying things. I can't quantify how these relationships in business are so valuable, but they are. They bring people together. There's light bulbs that go off. Hey, who needs this? Oh, I saw this. Who's really good at that? Oh yeah, that. Hey, Adam, I'm trying to get a commercial property. How'd you get financing on yours? Oh, let me introduce you to the guy. Like just endless things like that. Just forget what genes you're hitting, forget what odds you're making or breaking, forget what your sales are for just a minute and just like push yourself to go figure out how to build something with somebody else, a business relationship. So, there's my pitch to you. Yeah, see, Josh, I don't even know who Haunted Hatchlings is. I hope they're good people. But yeah, let's shout out Haunted Hatchlings just for the free plug. There you go. What's on you guys' mind? What's happening out there? What are you guys up to? What have you been doing other than turning away solar panel salesmen? Or what shows are you guys looking forward to? I hope that there's excitement out there. I hope your hatchlings are coming. It's about to be kind of ramp up time for hatchlings. I'm going to be curious to see, oh, you know what? I know this idea as I'm sort of cruising towards the end here. All of what I've been saying. So AARPE show slamming, Mid-America, Midwest show seemed to have a pretty good turnout. The last Minneapolis show I did, fantastic show. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the previous show I did before that, fantastic, primo show. It's really, I don't want to get into economic politics, but there's weird stuff going on out there. And whether you love it or you hate it, you got to admit it's different. This world and this time that we're in is very, very different. And I know some people are very excited for how different it is. And some people are very concerned for how different it is. I can't square all that uncertainty with the good stuff happening on the ground just in our industry. And I had a weird thought that maybe people are just used to things being a little more expensive. There's a new norm for what things are going to cost. I heard things moving at good prices too. I didn't hear people saying, well, you know, you just got to give stuff away. None of that, like all that crap that you usually hear, the downer stuff you usually hear at shows. I just haven't been hearing that. I didn't vend this show, so I don't have the precise insight. Same thing in Minnesota. Usually the local show, I get a lot of like payment plans. No payment plans. Buy it. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I don't know what those cowboys do to make money there, but they got money. So I can't quite square all that up. So I don't really know. So what it leads me to think is that maybe our industry is strong, maybe stronger than we expected or suspected, and that maybe the oversaturation is at least coming down. Now, what tripped that thought was all the hatchlings are about to start arriving and hitting the market again. So we might have, you know, it's the most basic of economic principles, supply and demand, correct? Supply goes up, prices come down. In effect, it causes a lower demand due to the increase in supply. We might see that. I am excited though. I'm interested to see what happens over the next few months. As I've been saying, the investment, I can't quite wrap my head around it. The investment that Chewy and Palm Street have made in our industry, very intriguing and enticing. There's still, you know, the companies that are like the support companies like the Zoom Eds, the Timberline, Sea Serpents. You see all of those companies still making huge investments in advertising and promotion, REDLINE as well. Interesting time. Something like there's like a buzz that doesn't make sense to fit into the rest of the big picture. And again, I'm not trying to say whether it's good or bad. I got my own opinion on that. You didn't come here for that opinion, and nor did I come here to tell you. I got my own views on that. What I'm saying is markets generally like certainty, and this has been by design an uncertain time. I think we would all agree on that. So it's interesting to me, the stability or even momentum we're seeing in our industry that we have felt has been very challenged for the past few years. I can't make heads or tails of any of it. I'm having a blast watching it all unwind. Let's see. Tyson says, I picked up 2 girls last week. The Show Me Show, ordering my first FB rack tonight. Yeah, that's a lot of money, man. Good for you. I think the show here was busier than the last couple, which tells me the market is great. I truly believe the market's always going to be work. A job is a job. Otherwise, everybody would be, you know, we'd all be rock stars. We'd all of that stuff. It sounded like it's that Canadian band that everybody hates. Anyway, I digress. it's always going to be work. There's always going to be competition. There's too low of a barrier to entry. Anybody can go buy, a combo het clown and a male clown, and really for pretty cheap, even for breeders. And this time next year, they could be making amazing clowns, and suddenly, boom, they're your competition. That's how low the barrier to entry is to what we do. Now, to do it at scale and to do it successfully, we know that's very, very difficult. What I'm saying is there are people that will figure it out and can get in. You don't need $10, $20, $100,000 to get going in this industry. I think it's beautiful that way. And I think that it's great. It is just, I'm here for it. I want to see it. I want to see what's going to go on. Again, I'm the guy that I'm like, I understand what's going on, or I see the economic or socioeconomic forces. I don't get it. I got nothing. I'm mystified right now. What is this? Do you see one of our reps put up a bill to regulate reptile breeders, et cetera, via USDA? No, I didn't. I need to get up on that. I know every year it seems like when Congress gets around to actually like working, it's always very, very popular to regulate scary things. So reptiles are easy. It happens very often. In Florida, it used to always be Marco Rubio that was introducing, and it's usually attached to another bill. And then when the negotiation times come to cut what's going to get passed and not passed, they do get rid of it. I'm not saying to ignore it, but I'm not sure what's up with it. Also, USDA is interesting because there's long been a pitch, and I don't know enough of the ins and outs of this to say whether it's good or not. But some people I really look up to have long been legally in Florida trying to get reptile breeding regulated as agriculture, and USDA is far more agriculturally focused than, say, Florida's model, which is FWC, which is law enforcement. So I don't actually mind reasonable regulation, and in some ways I think it's good. We've seen some horrific examples of people in our industry doing horrific things, whether it be taking snake bites or venomous bites, or taking juggling exercises. So I don't mind some regulation if it keeps us clean and keeps us on the up and up, especially if it's not law enforcement. DNR regulates us now, so I'm not sure what the difference would be. I got to look into it, but I did not see that federal level. Well, again, that would be interesting. I moved away from Florida. I had lots of reasons to move from Florida, that many of which are fairly personal, but one of them was I didn't want to. The cherry on the cake was that I didn't have to work with FWC, Florida Wildlife Commission. And that sounds well and benevolent. That is a law enforcement agency. And if you get a permit from FWC, part of your permit process is to agree, check the box, sign that you agree to forfeit your right to protections against illegal search and seizure. They can come and go with or without notice at any time. Let that sink in. Like, as long as we're not playing by those mafioso rules, I think we'll be okay. I'm interested to hear about it. I've got to read that alert. I've been so swamped with working at the show this weekend. I will check that out. Yeah, we'll see. And like I say that earlier, typically it would come around. I remember very specifically Marco Rubio when he was the Florida senator. Every year it was introduced, not as the USDA, but reviewing Lacey Act, reviewing CITES, whitelists, which are even tougher than blacklists, all of those things. So we'll see where it goes. But if it does escalate, we would have to put some eyeballs on it, especially it being here in our home state. Jeremy's from here in Minneapolis area, and so is Katie. There we go. Well, guys, it's been a blast to hang out. Next week, I will be back to usual with the guest in the co-pilot seat with me. I got a few people. We're just sorting out schedules and who's going to go when. So I'll let you know when I have those. I'll be back at the same place, same time. If you're watching on the replay, I want to hear your input. I want to hear what you're seeing out there. Is this something to get optimistic about, or am I just lucky at the shows that I'm going to and really unlucky about the show I decided not to vend at this weekend? Tell me what you think. Again, massive congratulations to the whole team at AARPE. Thank you to Redline, Snake Discovery, Brian Cusco, Palm Street, His Snakes, and Fear to Fascination for a great weekend. We had a great time hanging out together. There was nothing official. It's just all sort of who we ended up hanging out with and gravitating towards. So I hope you all are well. Find out what you could do to get creative. How can you differentiate your brand? How can you stick out just that much from the next person over? I appreciate you guys so much. I look forward to doing this. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we're coming up on 4 years of the show here in another couple months. Imagine that. I might have to do a little anniversary show of some kind. Let me know the ideas. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.